Good morning, and thank you for being here. On February 25th, we received a phone call that two Circle Ks, one located in the Ruskin area, one in the Apollo Beach area, that have discovered tremendous fuel discrepancies when they do their fuel checks, to the tune of about $25,000 worth of fuel that was missing. Our detectives that work the south end of the county did an absolutely phenomenal job of responding to the gas stations and doing their due diligence, that tedious investigative work of reviewing surveillance footage to identify who these individuals could have been. They immediately recognized a pattern where 7 separate trucks would come into the 2 different locations and begin to steal fuel. Now, how did this happen? How did this occur? These individuals would defeat the lock mechanism on the pumps, and they would remove the pulsar device. The pulsar device is a device that calculates the gallons that are pumped, but the price per gallon and what the total cost would be for the fuel that's dispensed from that pump. They would remove that device and insert their own homemade device, a device that had a block of wood, a steering rod, along with a battery and electrical board that would defeat that mechanism, where they were able to pump that fuel into large bladders that they would have on top of their truck or sometimes inside a van or beneath the truck, where they would steal hundreds and hundreds of gallons of fuel. Fuel for a total that we know of at least $60,000 in 7 different times that these suspects, these individuals, have victimized these 2 different stores. We know that 6 of them have been arrested. 1 of them, we believe, may have fled back to Cuba. We're not exactly sure yet. We're still looking into that. But 6 of them have been arrested. 2 turned themselves in over the weekend. Some have bonded out. You will be provided all this information. What would these individuals do with this fuel then, right? They steal it. They steal $60,000 worth of fuel. What were they doing with the fuel? How would these suspects, this organized crime ring, this big scheme to defraud, what would they do with this fuel? They would take it to 2 different bulk sites. Our detectives and the Florida Highway Patrol, during conducting surveillance, identified 2 different sites, one by the Tampa International Airport and one by the Orient Road Jail. And these are just vacant lots where individuals would pay to keep their commercial trucks. Well, these individuals, these thieves, saw this as an opportunity to sell this fuel at a significant reduction. These individuals would immediately take it from the gas pumps to the bulk fuel site that they created, this larger fuel bladder that they had there, and they would sell the gas immediately. I mean, that's how quick that they would go profit from it. They were even wise to the fact when they saw that the fuel prices in the Tampa Bay area or across the nation would rise, they would raise their rates. So at one point, they even charged almost up to $3 a gallon to fill their tanks. Now, why is this important? Because a lot of people say, okay, it's the Circle K Corporation at these 2 different locations. Well, realize that corporation, yes, they become the victim, but all of us that are feeling the sting, feeling the financial pain from the fuel increase, we become the victims, because this corporation has to recover their losses. They're gonna cover these losses by dispersing the losses onto the ultimate consumer. That's what we are. So here in the Tampa Bay, we'll be paying higher fuel prices because these thieves saw as an opportunity to take advantage of others during a time when we're already feeling the financial pain and strain from the price of the increase that all of us are feeling. I have to take a moment just to thank the Florida Highway Patrol. You're such a tremendous partner. Captain Glennie, you, Troop C, and all the troops in the different areas for being such a great partner and helping us keep in our state roadways and on investigations like this. Thank you for helping us cross these jurisdictional boundaries and keeping these individuals responsible who want to victimize our community. Now, we do know that these two gas stations were victimized. But we believe there are other gas stations that have been victimized in the Tampa area alone, and these phenomenal detectives will keep working on that. We also have looked historically back to see where this same method of operation has been completed up in Pasco and Hernando County. So yes, we're proud today. We're proud that we've put an end to these thieves stealing from us, where we're all going to feel an additional financial pain from how these individuals wanted to victimize our community. But we don't believe we're the only community alone. We believe that Pasco and Hernando County, we believe that where they have discovered some fuel discrepancies, that these individuals may be responsible for those thefts too, and this will be coming out. Another question that we asked ourselves is, these individuals that own these two lots where they park that commercial equipment, and where they were allowing, and at least had to have the knowledge, I believe, that these individuals were selling fuel on their private property. I would if it was my property. What was their involvement? How involved are they in this? So again, that will be the next steps as this investigation continues to, I believe, flourish and continue. We'll start finding out, are there other people involved, like these landowners? But again, we think we have the 7 ringleaders. One still at large, but at least 6 out of the 7. And they face charges ranging from RICO, conspiracy to commit RICO, grand theft, and accessing computer electronics without authority. Some of them have singular counts, some of them have multiple counts, depending on what their involvement was. And again, we'll provide all this information to you. Again, let me just say one last time what a tremendous asset the Florida Highway Patrol is. And again, to our detectives, unfortunately, who work undercover and sit in the back of the room and work nights and weekends and were tedious to identify how these individuals would spend 12 hours at a pump, how these individuals would even keep someone at the pump so one of us couldn't use that pump. They defeated the mechanism at that pump. They wanted to make sure they were the only ones benefiting from stealing fuel from the Circle K corporations. To all of you in the back of the room, thank you for what you do each and every day to protect and serve our community.
Are you taking questions?
I'm taking questions.
People that would go into these 2 lots to buy the gas, do you think they knew something was suspicious about all of this, or was it just, oh, cheaper gas?
I think that they would have to be blind to not think that something's wrong here. Why is the rest of the world not here buying where we're buying? But to believe that they were involved in criminal activity, that would be a stretch. I think it's some consumers who feel the financial pain of the fuel increase that we're all facing and saw it as an opportunity to take advantage of a situation.
Is it a commercial vehicle? What kind of businesses?
Anything from dump trucks to lawn care equipment trucks to anything commercial. That's what. They would not be. Again, shame on them. They would have to know why the rest of us are paying double the price. Why are they special and paying this other rate? But the fact that they took advantage isn't that it doesn't reach the threshold if they were involved in criminal behavior. The landowners, some others involved, that would be a different story. They should have had the knowledge. But again, these individuals won't be charged. I think they took advantage of an opportunity that was created. Shame on them, because again, we all suffer from this.
Where are the Circle K's located, and are you guys working with Cuban law enforcement authority for the suspect at large?
The 2 locations were the Circle K located at 3702 Highway 41 in Rescomb, Florida, and the other Circle K that we've identified is 5904 US Highway 41 in Apollo Beach. We are working with Homeland Security to identify if that 7th individual had fled Cuba. And the other individuals, there's been some question about their documented status here in America as well. We know they have some type of visas. Again, these detectives are working with our federal authorities to find out exactly, are they supposed to be here, are they not supposed to be here, and working through that as well.
It was $60,000 each time, $60,000 or
$60,000. 7 times we have them at the gas pumps on 7 different days for a total of, at least that we know of, that we can prove right now, $60,000. We believe they're involved in much more. That will continue.
Did they pay
Yeah, great question. Depending on the pump and how it worked and their device would work, some were newer pumps, some were older pumps. Sometimes it was a zero cost. At one point, our detectives identified that they paid $6 after pumping 600 gallons.
And then did they, at the end of this, did they replace the original device back in there, so none the wiser after that?
Yes, and I apologize for not pointing that out. After they were done with the pump, after their 12-hour shift at that pump where they would steal thousands and thousands of gallons of fuel, they would insert the original pulsar, that device, again, that calculates the price per gallon, how much fuel is dispensed. They would replace it, close the pump, and move on. They would have an individual that was staged there, so you couldn't park your car there. They would have someone almost reserving the pump as they kept rotating these 7 trucks between 2 separate locations.
Isn't this a process to remove some kind of equipment and then add it in? I mean, how long were these people there each of the 7 times? It was hours?
They spent these 7 different times they were there. They spent 12 hours each time. I don't believe it's easy to do. This was quite an intricate process of what they completed to do. Other than that, I know you just asked about wouldn't someone at Circle K identify this? We all have the same question. Why weren't these employees being a little more diligent? We know these Circle Ks are busy. There's a lot going on, from food that they sell to serving customers to people coming in and out of the gas pumps. But that's certainly a way that we hope that anyone in any gas station in our county would take the opportunity to check those gas pumps. We always recommend checking them on the hour and changing the different, almost looks like evidence tape, to make sure that your pump hasn't been tampered with. If we have individuals working at these gas stations that are being a little more vigilant, I believe we can make sure that and ensure that this doesn't happen again. This is the same thing we talk about when they're implementing these skimmers. Some of them you can't even tell. It's not the old ones, the ATMs that stick way out. It's a device that they'll change and put inside, like a little processor, and they're able to steal people's credit card numbers. Well, we know some individuals are becoming more sophisticated in stealing this fuel. This device that you see, the homemade device that we'll provide to you, there's some now that have an electronic device that they put in there, and they almost have a remote that they can turn it on and off when they want to get there and hit it, so they get fuel for free, or they can turn it off for the next person to come to have to pay for it, so no one's wiser of what they're doing. So this is evolving.
Have you ever dealt with anything similar to this in the county in recent history?
We have, but most of it's been with diesel fuel. Diesel fuel is always more expensive than normal fuel, and with the agriculture community that we have here, we've seen individuals stealing from farmland owners who have fuel. They're stealing the fuel that way. We haven't seen it as prevalent as it is with this organized crime ring that sole purpose was to collectively come together to defraud these gas stations by stealing the amount of fuel that they did. Thank you, everyone. Captain, thank you again.
Thank you.
Appreciate the partnership.
Getting to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister speaking on a gasoline theft ring busted here in Hillsborough County. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now. We've been playing back some of the video provided to us by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. And we have more details for you on this story on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. We're going to be pivoting now in just a few minutes to a developing story out of Pasco County. A former child protective investigator has been arrested, so we're going to be stepping away for just a few moments. We'll be right back here on WFLA Now.